Good morning and welcome to Quilting with Lori. My name is Lori Dickman, and today I'm going to be working on a quilt on my long arm. This is a quilt that we did a few weeks ago on my YouTube channel, and I'll link that tutorial below here in case you'd like to make this quilt. I'm going to be using some rulers for ruler work. I'm going to be using feathers on this quilt. The batting that I have used for this quilt is Hobbs 8020 batting. I have a Tin Lizzy long arm. It's not a computerized long arm, so it's a kind of a finicky one. So everything I do is either hand-guided free motion quilting or ruler work, or I have some edged heads, some pantos that I put on the tabletop next down below here where I can do the edge-to-edge quilting. But this particular long arm, my Tin Lizzy, is partial to glide thread on the top. It really likes that GLIDE. Glide thread is one that it is very, very happy with. And so that is what I use on the top of my quilt. And for the bottom of my quilt, for the bobbin, I use Superior Thread's bottom line. It's a 60 weight thread. And I believe glide is a 50 or a 40. Let's see here. It's a 40 weight. Glide is a 40 weight. Superior bottom line is a 60 weight. So that is what I'm using. And again, the quilt pattern itself is a video that I had done about 3 weeks ago, actually. And I taught you how to unlock the designs in a quilt pattern. There's actually a couple of different blocks that are used on this quilt. So I'm going to link that below so you can watch that if you want to see how that was done first. And then I'm going to give you some ideas on how I'm going to quilt this whole quilt. Right now, I've got a couple of rulers on the quilt here that I'm going to be using. What I've done so far, of course, I have secured the quilt to the frame itself by just doing a basting stitch all the way around the very outside edge within the quarter seam allowance on the outside edge. And then I did do a securing stitch starting here between the white and that blue border. So I have done that. So that area is now secure. The next thing I'm going to do, it's kind of an unusual feather that I'm planning on doing. We'll see how this turns out. I'm using this ruler. Not sure if you can really see this ruler very well. I'm going to need to get a color paper so you can see it. It's called the HQ Half Circle Template, and it's a handy quilt ruler. Let me get a blue piece of paper or something so that you can actually see what this ruler looks like. Here is the handy quilter ruler that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the outside edge, and once you take into account the 1/4 inch seam allowance from the foot, then each of these arcs that I'm going to be creating along that border are going to measure 8 inches. My quilt doesn't divide in exact 8-inch increments, so I may have to be doing some fudging where some of these arcs are going to be longer or larger than 8 inches. Some of them are going to be shorter. And as I go across my border, I'll be able to take that into account and adjust as I go. So let me go ahead and start putting that on there. I am going to be using, I guess I'm going to make sure you can see this, these little lines right here. I'm going to line those lines up on the bottom seam allowance here between the blue and the white. And I'm going to make my arc go into both borders. And then I'm going to feather on the inside and the outside of this. So let me show you what I'm planning to do. I'm trying to get you in here so that you can kind of see what I'm doing. I've got my arcs in here. They're stitched in there. And right now I'm doing a feather on the outside of each of the arcs, and I'm going to continue doing that all the way around. Then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to do a feather on the inside of each of these arcs. And I'll continue. I'll start from the left and I'll go all the way to the right. That's what I'm doing on the top. I'm doing the arcs or the feathers on the top of the arc, starting at the left of my machine and going all the way to the right. The problem with this intricate feather work on this print fabric is that you can't really see it. So it's probably a better idea if you want to really have this beautiful feather work show up, make sure you do it on a border that is a much more plain border, which will allow that quilting to show up more. Because I'm not able to get very good close-ups for you of my actual quilting while I'm quilting, I'm going to show you what I have done here. Obviously, all of my feathering is out in these two borders here, and I have just simply created some boundaries here, some triangular boundaries. I'm using the sides of these blocks or squares that are on point here as my guidelines. And I've created some boundaries here, and I've also done some stitching, straight line stitching across the top. Maybe you can see it better at an angle. So I have these lines coming straight in that way, these lines coming straight down from the top. So that has been outlined up there. I've done the echo stitching all the way around both of these squares. I've done some straight lines going this direction. I've done the same thing in here, and it comes to a point out here, and it will come to a point down here. I'm going to have to move my quilt up farther in order to be able to finish this, but I've completed some of these. This is a scrappy quilt, so each one of these white fabrics is a different fabric, as you can tell. Inside these squares, I've simply done some feathers, starting in the center and done feathers all the way around. And then over here, I have partitioned this off. I've also created boundaries, a square within a square, if you will. And I've partitioned these off, and I've done some feather quilting on both sides of these boundaries here. I've done some feather quilting out in this point, out in that point, out in this point. And then there's feather quilting here in that triangular section that has this boundary in the center. And some more down here. Same here, same there. And I'll do the same thing down here, but I'm going to have to move my quilt farther in order to be able to accomplish that. And then I did a duplicate. I've done some straight line stitching here. I've outlined everything 1/4 of an inch. Done some straight line stitching there, about a 3/4 of an inch spacing. Same thing here that you saw on the other side. Some more of the feathers right in here and in here. And again, I have set off a triangle out here, used my echo stitching here, and then there's straight line stitching this way and coming straight down from the top. So that is the ruler work that I'm doing on the inside. So it's not just ruler work. Actually, it's both feather quilting and ruler work that I have combined on this quilt. This quilt is just a 54-inch square quilt. I've advanced the quilt and I've continued quilting down the quilt. As you can see, I've done the ruler work in these X areas here. I've done on the little colored patchworks that I have everywhere, I've divided them up and made these beautiful little feathers. And so over here, I've literally made a barrier here, a dividing line. This way, all the way around, made a square inside of a square, if you will. And so then I've got some feathers going this way, some feathers in this triangle, some feathers in that triangle, and some feathers in this triangle. I've also got feathers in that triangle out there, in this small triangle here. And then, of course, in this one, and this one, and this one. And then this one is the large one. There's a large one there, and there's a small one here. So that's how I have filled in the actual printed squares on this entire quilt. And then again, over here, we've got a few little patches there that I filled in with some feathers. I've completed the quilting of the quilt, and the last thing that I like to do before I remove it from the frame is to just rewind it and make sure that I've actually quilted everything. When you do custom quilting, it's easy to miss a spot that you think you've covered, but you haven't. And sometimes it's good even to turn off some lights so that you can see the shadows of the quilting, and that makes it very obvious if there's a spot on the quilt that has not been quilted. So I'm just carefully going to look through all this. I see some threads here too that I need to trim. Get those trimmed off. They've been secured, but I had neglected to trim those. And it looks as if I have everything quilted on the quilt. So this is good. I'm going to go ahead and remove it and square it up, and I'll meet you at the cutting table. The quilt is finished. I have it squared up and it's ready now to be bound. I need to locate this fabric here, this border fabric. This is what I want to use to bind it. So hopefully I can find where I place that. Don't you hate that when you put your binding fabric somewhere and then you can't locate it when you're ready to bind the quilt? But I love how it turned out. I really appreciate having some of the curved feathers in here along with the straight line. It just kind of balances everything out. I enjoy ruler work a lot, and I enjoy feathers, creating feathers. So hopefully you'll try your hand at this. I'm going to link the video for the actual quilt below so you can watch that, and you can go ahead and use your scraps. That's what I have done. Everything in this quilt is in my studio already. It's either scraps from my Speedy Solutions scrap stash, and fabric for borders I pulled from my stash as well. So everything is something that I already had, and I'm excited to be able to make beautiful quilts using the scraps that I have in my home. And by the way, all of the fabric that I cut away when I was squaring up the quilt, this is the backing fabric, in fact. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see much there, but that is the backing fabric. It's beautiful. It's kind of fun sometimes to see the quilting on the back of a quilt, but I'm just not sure if you're going to be able to see that in the light here or not. But it's beautiful. I love how it turned out. But what I'm going to do with all of the strips that I have cut away, as well as the batting, I'm going to cut this up for my Speedy Solutions scrap stash. I may cut some of this into strips, maybe 2.5-inch strips. Some of them will be cut into squares. I will go through my Speedy Solutions stash and see what I'm low on, and that's what I'll focus on in cutting all of this up. And then I will cut these up into 2-inch strips because I'll use this for making jelly rolls. It's a wonderful, or excuse me, I'll use this for making jelly roll rugs. This leftover batting is a great way to make fun gifts in the way of jelly roll rugs or totes or purses or vases or bowls. So much you can do with this, so don't toss this. In fact, I'll go ahead and link in the description box below another video, which is the video that teaches you how to make a jelly roll rug. I've got that in my tutorial, so you can watch that and take your 2.5-inch strips and your batting and make a beautiful jelly roll rug for Christmas. Thank you for coming along and watching as I quilted this quilt today. Hope that you enjoyed it and it gave you some ideas on how you might quilt some of your quilts. And so until next time, happy quilting.